Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shade walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section. She call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shade.
She say what she want, then laughs all day. Live on Shade's tube, press replay. You thought I let game, and back again.
It's late night with Shade.
She say what she want, then laughs all day. Live on Shade's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shade.
It's late night with Shade.
She say what she want, then laughs all day. Live on Shade's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shade.
She say what she want, then laughs all day. Live on Shade's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shade. On Shade's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shade.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shade's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shade.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shade's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Shades to Late Night Owls Talk Time. Happy and blessed Thursday, and I hope you guys had a beautiful Wednesday. Before we start off with this live, guys, let me ask you to thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share, leave a comment, and hype this video up. And if you want to show additional support for this channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, cash app donation at $ShadesTube, or cop yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. Copyright disclaimer is scrolling across the screen. The entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area of my channel, in the bio. Alrighty, welcome to everybody in the bushes, everyone who watched this in the replay. Over here in the chat, we got Jermaine in the place to be. All right, so tonight, you guys, we are finishing our discussion regarding Nolan Wells, and we got some more updated information. And I want to tell you guys about another video that I saw. And I don't know, if these women are telling the truth or not, but I want to, if I can find it, I want to show you guys the video. Okay? It's a trip. So, like I said, I don't know if these two women who claim they saw his body, I don't know if they are telling the truth or not, but we are still going to check that video out. So make sure y'all get a relaxing seat, bed, or whatever. If you are at work, watch or listen to me on the download, and we are getting ready to get started in 1 second. All right. And again, thank you guys so much for being here as well. I definitely appreciate you guys, stopping through this late night or whenever you watch. All right. So let's get to put some little music on in the background. Like always at nighttime, you have to stay awake. Even though this little case right here is so interesting. I don't even doubt I would ever fall asleep talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, last night we went over a lot of stuff. I want to start this live off by showing you the interview that his mom did. Okay, I think this is regarding the girl who had his phone or whatever the case is. Who turned his phone in, if I'm not, mistaken with that. So let's go watch that first. I'm giving it time to go ahead and connect over there. Okay, let's go ahead and see.
Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. Like it was, I'm not familiar with all the kids. I only know like one there, but it showed that the phones at what a lot of people were at. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV.
Okay, so you're telling me on the night of 4th of July, these kids are just sitting in the dark watching TV? No, I don't buy that. I mean, do kids these days even watch TV?
Did they immediately give you the phone? Gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone, or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said it was when Wyatt told me it was in his truck. It took him so long to get the phone back to me.
So what were they doing within?
So what I'm having a hard time understanding. Okay, so who actually had the phone? Because here it said Tamisha Hands explained how she got Nolan's phone on TikTok. Then here, the mom is saying that Wyatt had the phone, and it took them a while to get it from the truck or wherever. So I mean, this is like, it's a lot of different stories here, and it's kind of like weird, you know what I'm saying? Right, the phone was okay, so the phone was in Wyatt's truck. So what, Tamisha Hands, what does she have to do with this then? Because it's here, it says she got Nola's phone. How did she get Nola's phone? Why is that all these people got his phone and yet he did not have his phone? What's up with that? That's weird. Let's finish listening to this. This is when they found the phone, when they got the phone from Wyatt right here. I think we saw this yesterday. We're gonna watch it again.
That 15 minutes that she was waiting for that phone. And Wyatt said it was in his truck. Why would it be in his truck?
When they bought the phone, after I said something about it, he was like, well, she's going to get it. I was like, who's going to get it? He's like, the girl's going to get the phone.
Okay, so that clip ended.
Okay, so the girl got the phone, okay? Yeah, the girl is going to get the phone. That's weird. So it's two different Katies. That's what I was asking you earlier. You said it's two different Katies, Jermaine, right?
You track down the transcript, and there's even some more information. She says, but one of the girls at the house, I'm pretty sure it was Katie. Her name was Katie Diaz or something like that. She brought me the phone. So that's a different Katie. Because the other Katie that was mentioned was Katie McCormick.
Okay.
And she was the one.
So, okay, I'm getting confused now. Okay, gosh. So, okay. So that's right. That's what you was telling me, Jermaine. The two different Katies. Okay, because I was like, is that the same girl on the island that he supposedly, liked and stayed there with for a minute? Okay, these are two different women. So Tamisha is explaining how she got Nolan's phone. Okay, now I got it.
Island that apparently was the one that last saw him, but now this Katie is giving her the phone. So then in the interview, again, this is the transcript, Christine chimes in and says, so when my sister and I went through the phone, it was just too clean. Nolan was always taking
When they took a long time to go get the phone, just like Jermaine was asking me or telling me, he was asking me, did they take that time to delete everything on the phone? I mean, what were they doing for 15 minutes? And not saying that they did delete everything. We're just basically throwing out theories out here. So, I mean, why did it take them so long to get the phone? And why did this Katie have to go get the phone? This is weird.
pictures, always making videos. So I would expect something in Snapchat, right? Both accounts were empty. There was no
Okay.
saved videos. There was nothing there. And I just find that very hard to believe from the whole day. So this is what ultimately tipped her off, is the phone. So an 18-year-old has absolutely no videos, no photos of a 4th of July. That's weird. And also the fact that he would just leave his phone with them. Yeah, it's not adding up. His friend Jalen, who is Tashima's son, is saying
that's
that
Tashima,
he has
okay.
never known Nolan to leave his phone, just like any other 18-year-old.
I don't think that Nolan would say, hey, bro, I'm staying with this girl on the island. Y'all go ahead and go back without even bringing it, like not even asking to get his phone back. You know what I mean? I've never known Nolan to stay back while his friends leave. He's always been a guy where if he rode with you, he's going to come back with you. That's always how he's been every single time.
Now, at the end of the interview, Ben Crump, the lawyer, chimes in, and he said something very, very interesting. He said, people are calling our call center and talking to our investigators, and there is so much coming out. I mean, things that happened the night before, the things that happened that day, we're finding out. And it's really concerning, some of the things that they're telling us. And we understand there were multiple videos of altercations that they're telling us about. So I'm wondering what happened the night before.
That is the question. Okay, now let's get this right because I'm getting confused here. Okay, let's get this right. The lady on the screen is Tamisha. That's Javion's mom, correct? Okay. They got the phone from Wyatt, who had the phone in his truck. Okay, right? Okay. So this girl, the other Katie, well, they just had her name up there, Katie, whatever. Not the first Katie, not the Katie he met up with, or he liked and he hooked up with for a minute or whatever on the island. This is another Katie. So she had to go get the phone. And it took them a total of 15 minutes to retrieve this phone. And by the time they got the phone back, they was wondering why that phone was so clean. No videos, no pictures, no nothing. And we already know that there was probably no connection on the island, but still, like I said many times before, even when your phone does not have a connection, no Wi-Fi, no nothing, no signal, you can still take pictures to upload later on because your phone itself will still work. You can still take pictures, you can still do a video and just upload it once you get, in the area where you can do it at. So I'm still trying to figure out why he did not have his phone. Okay, and then another puzzling thing is that if I get this right, because Jermaine be filling me in on so much at one time, and I be working at the same time. Now, the other Katie, allegedly the other Katie said, and I heard her say it, mom said, that Nolan did get on that boat. So, why, if this is true, why is it there are conflicting stories? Okay. Now, one theory that we came up with, another theory is this right here. So say he was on the boat, right? And the altercation broke out, like a little argument that escalated, and they ended up getting into some type of scuffle or whatever the case is, pushing match or whatever. And just say he got pushed or they even could have fought and he got knocked off of the boat. Okay. And when he got knocked off the boat, they looked and couldn't find him, right? They looked and couldn't find him. And so they panicked and was like, well, damn, he must have, he got to have, drowned or whatever the case is. So let's just, go because, they couldn't find him. And plus they would be scared, because of what happened before he fell. And then they just left. So what if that's something that could have happened? Because that would explain a lot of things. Because like I said last night, when he left the other Katie, she said she last saw him and she assumed that he was going to get back on that boat with his friends he came with. That's what she assumed. Okay. Then the other dude said he last saw Nolan between 4 and 4:30. Okay. So what happened in between that time once he left? Because we know he was alive, when he was hooking up with the girl at around 3 o'clock. So what happened from 3:15 on up? And I'm just saying 3:15 because the girl said between 3 and 3:30. So what happened to Nolan Wells in between that time? And why was his phone so clean? Why did it take them so long to get that phone? Okay. And why did they have the phone? Why? Okay, let's get off of this real quick. Let me see what y'all saying in the comment section over here. Hey, Wet Seal TV, thank you so much for being here. And if I sound like I'm tired tonight, that's because I am. So it is what it is. I still wanted to come here and do this live. Right, I got it straight. Okay, I found it. But I always be getting stuff backwards, y'all. Y'all just don't know. I've been doing so many cases, so many videos. It's a mess. Okay, I got it. Okay, right, 2 Katie's. I got that right. What's up, West Seal? No, it was given to me. Jermaine, where did you get that from? So you said it's common on Horn Island for people to leave phones in the boat. There are no docks. You have to anchor and wade in the water to shore. Wow. News confirmed today that the Warren boat called for help about sinking, and they got towed back. They left at 4:31, confirmed by GPS. Oh, yeah, we saw that yesterday, too. That's what they were saying. But I got that story right here on my phone. We'll go over that as well. Okay? But let's see here. So the other girl, Katie, that's a different Katie, had the phone. Okay? She went to retrieve the phone or whatever the case is, if I got that correctly. Okay, so y'all talking about now the GPS data that tracks the boat Nolan Wells was on before he went missing. Okay, so let's see what they said here. Let's see here. Okay, now this is according to CBS News. So they said GPS data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources obtained by CBS News tracks the movements of the boat that carried Nolan Wells on Horn Island on July the 4th. Nolan was found alive after going missing following an outing on the island. Now, the vessel left a dock at about 9:56 a.m. that morning, and then it arrived at Horn Island at 11:14. So it takes about almost 2 hours. CBS News has previously reported that Wells was not on the boat when it departed the island. Now, according to the GPS data, the boat left Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. Now, that goes right along with that dude saying that he last saw Nolan between 4 and 4:30. Around the same time that boat left Horn Island. And then he returned to his original departure dock. It then traveled into Fort Bayou around 5:52 before returning to the dock at 6:06. So 4:31, 5:31, just an hour and a half basically. Later that evening, the boat went to the Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19 p.m. according to the MSDMR report. From there, it traveled overland. They figured it was being towed by a vehicle to Biloxi, Mississippi, residents of the boat's owners. Now, the MSDMR report indicates that the boat's owner, his mother, and one other individual who was reportedly with Wells on the day of the incident have cooperated with the investigation. The department's report ends on July the 5th, following notification that the Jackson County Sheriff's Office would take over as the lead investigative agency. Now, as we know, Nolan Wells, 18, was last seen on July the 4th on Horn Island, where he had taken a boat trip with friends to celebrate the holiday. Wells traveled to the island with his friends, but did not return to the mainland with them that afternoon. And that's according to what they say. Okay. He was last seen on the island at 3 p.m. The other dude said he saw him between 4 and 4:30. And that's according to Attorney Dan Crump's office. His mother reported him missing later that night, and a search began. His body was discovered July the 6th off the coast of the island, which is about 10 miles south of the Mississippi mainland, following a search that involved the U.S. Coast Guard, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and the National Park Service. Dental records confirmed the body was Wells. Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lynn told CBS News. An autopsy took place on July the 7th, Lynn said, but the results were not immediately made public. Wells' body was flown to Washington, D.C. for an independent autopsy, according to Crump. Wells' parents have said they don't believe their son would have stayed behind on the island by choice when his friends left by boat. She said no, he wouldn't. Nolan always stays with the group. That's what the father said right there, actually. He said, if you be with me, you come back with me. So that I don't understand. And with me being a parent, if I was in that situation, I would have told them, you're going to get back on this boat with me because I don't want to answer to your parents if something happens to you. When directly asked if he believed Nolan was left behind on the island, his father responded, yes, I don't believe he decided to stay on the island by himself. It just doesn't. That's not his character. Oh, man, that's sad. Let me see what y'all saying over here. It's just something that's weird with this entire case for me. These stories. I mean, it's just some of the stuff just does not add up. Period. I didn't see that. You said Alicia. I didn't see that. So she said that him being at a pool party after the island, even if that photo was of an earlier different party on the 27th. You're talking about the one that we saw last night, where they was all at the party and stuff, and they had the beers circled and stuff. Well, Trayston said that, I think that was Trayston said that was on a different day, on the 27th. I don't know. These people making me wonder if they are lying, because this is very weird. You know what I'm saying? If your friend became missing, how in the hell are you sitting in the house watching a damn movie in the dark like some weirdos like that? Okay? How? If your friend did not come back with you guys, you haven't heard from him, and then he's missing, how are you chilling? Just chilling with the lights off and shit, watching a movie and all of that type of stuff. You said it is plausible that Nolan was chasing Katie and intended to go back on a different friend, not the original. But the girl said, remember, the girl said she assumed that Nolan was getting on that boat. And in another video that I heard earlier, I don't know if it was the mom or the girl saying that Nolan got back on that boat. So, I mean, it's just a lot of conflicting, you know, stories here. Let me see if I can find that. So we just went over that. Well, let me see what else I got. Right, on a different friends, but right. He could have, I mean, you know, you just never know. But I'm just going by what the girl said. And if he did get on another boat, why come nobody didn't see him doing anything after 3 o'clock or between 4 and 4:30? That's when I think Tristan said that's when he saw him. And then the girl Katie said between 3 and 3:30. You're right, that could be true. Katie spoke with Nolan's mom, right? And she told, what did Katie tell Nolan's mom, Jermaine? She told Nolan's mom that Nolan got on that boat. Yeah, right. We pretty much kind of figured that out last night, that their interaction wasn't that long. You know what I'm saying? And then that's why she assumed that he got on that boat. And she said, I thought she said yesterday when I was reading that, she said she assumed he got back on the boat that he came in on. Okay, that's what she said. So why would she say this? Why would she say this if she didn't believe, if he got on somebody else's boat? So here it is right here. It's on People. Let's look at this article real quick and read it real quick. So hold on. Just according to People, Nolan Wells' mom says she has spoken with a young woman who spent time with him on an island in Mississippi on the 4th of July before he disappeared and passed on. She said, hold on, she did reach out to me initially, just saying basically like it was a hey and bye type situation. That's the other Katie, right? Okay. However, the mom added, I was like, that's not what I'm getting from other people, calling it another example of inconsistencies around, you know, known as unaliving. Anyway, Ben Crump said that his team, they are planning to speak with the woman who met Wells on the island. It's unclear who has been interviewed by authorities or the Wells family and what they have said. Indeed, much remains publicly unknown about the 18-year-old college student, and football player's final hours. I'm trying to figure out why come nobody don't know anything. Okay, what about the other Katie? How does she play into this? So he met this chick, this is the other Katie, and he met her, you know, at that party they went to. But he did not stay with her long. This is the same one who said that she last saw him at either between 3 and 3:30. You read that, Jermaine? Mm-hmm. But how did the other Katie, how did she play into this? Okay, it said there were a lot of young people out there. Nobody believes that Nolan either fell off a boat or jumped in the water without people seeing. That's nothing too. If all these people are out there Why is it no one knows anything? And I don't believe he would just go off to a different section of the island by himself like a weirdo. No, I don't believe that. It's just weird. Okay. It's just very, very strange. Now, his mom and dad said they raised him not to be so reckless as to separate himself from the group, and it would be out of character, especially because his phone was apparently left behind on a boat with friends. His phone was left on that boat because something happened on that boat, I'm telling you. And it was left there. That's why it was left there. Later that day, one of Will's friends called his parents to notify them that he was missing, and a search ensued. When they said that he stayed behind without his phone, that automatically it turned me off, but it turned on a question like, I know he would not do that. I preach that to him every day. You're lying to me. And that's what the dad told the gyro, okay, in this interview with them. So I'm glad they are investigating this themselves, because this just does not sound right. Too many, weirdness going on here. Let's see what you said. Okay, the other Katie just went to get the phone for Tanisha. Okay. But just think, just say if there was something on their phone and it was erased or deleted, that they can go, even though you delete stuff, if he posts anything on Snapchat or any other social media, you may be able to subpoena that, the police. Or even maybe, I don't know if a private investigator could do that, but they may even do something like that. So get that. Because, that stuff still be there, even though when you delete it off the phone. You said all of this stuff out of character is because Crump was trying to create a narrative about boys not giving Nolan his phone back, okay? And let me look up that video real quick, because I was trying to find it. Did we just see that? Tanisha Hands explains how she got Nolan's phone on TikTok. Okay. Let's go look and see if we can find that. I just typed that in there. Let's see. Tanisha Hands explains how she got Nolan's phone on TikTok. Is this what I just showed? I think that's the one I just showed, right? We got different stories up here. Let's see. Let's listen to this again.
So when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima, and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, they grew up together. So she was like, hey, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it.
So when I received...
So they tracked the damn phone. Okay. Damn. Okay, so you know what? They weren't going to turn that phone in. Now listen, when it was deleted, if it was deleted, they probably thought it couldn't be tracked or anything. Or it wasn't deleted at first, right? And when they retrieved the phone, they could have deleted everything then. But if this is true, I believe you can still get those. If he did any messages or pictures or whatever, I believe you can get that information, on Snapchat, even the phone company. Okay? Let's listen to that again.
The phone call from Warren. I immediately called my friend Tashima and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like they grew up together. So she was like, hey, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone. They tracked it.
So when I received the phone call.
Okay. So, again, for me, if you know that your friend is missing, I would think that you would, just as soon as possible, you would call authorities about that situation, and you would call his mom and dad. Also, if you got his phone, you should be turning that in. I would think you would just be turning that in to the mom or the police. Why did they have it and didn't do that? And I'm just thinking to myself, if they wouldn't have tracked the phone, if they would have even gotten the phone back. That's weird. Listen to this thing right here again.
Where they have cell phones, and anytime you hear people raising their voice, they start the video. And so you hear on the video Nolan saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And that becomes even more relevant when you think about the story that they are presenting, that Nolan chose to stay behind. That's what they're saying. But his phone, he wouldn't take that with him if he's going to stay behind on the island.
Okay. Now they did say Tracy said that it wasn't Nolan in that video. Okay. Now, is he telling the truth? Nah, I don't know. But he said it's not Nolan in that video. He said it was him. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because he said that it would be impossible. Also, he said it would be impossible to hear you that clearly if you're on the sand and someone is taking recording that from a far distance, you wouldn't be able to hear them. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of strange right there for him to be saying, give me my effing phone. And just so happened Nolan's phone was missing. It's weird. And like I said, they didn't even notify the mom and dad about Nolan's phone. That's weird. Y'all don't think that's weird? If my friend passed on, was missing, and I got his phone, I'm going to be calling up the mom, giving the mom and dad the phone. Okay? Because there may be some evidence there or something to indicate, what happened to him or whatever the case is. Or just anything, just whatever. It could be on the phone, could be there. A lot of people think that it still tracks. You said they can't recover the Snapchat messages, even Snapchat can't recover them. Let's see if they can. Let's look that up. And who's to say he didn't post something, somewhere else? Let's see. But when you do stuff on your phone, it's usually transferred to your cloud and things of that nature. Yeah, most shouldn't do that like that. They definitely can't. But is this 100% true? Let me write it a different way. Let's see what they say on this one. Well, here they said the police can get those messages from Snapchat. Okay. Now, this was just written. They said the police can do that. Snapchat is not going to do it. You can't do it, but the police can get it. They said some account information and everything can be retrieved by law enforcement through valid legal process. That's what they say here. They said it can be recovered. Even data you delete from your phone. Let's see if they can look at this. And they said some information may be retrieved by law enforcement through proper legal process. I don't believe anything, I don't believe everything is gone from Snapchat like that. And the police or FBI can't get some of it. Told you. Yes, police can recover deleted Snapchat photos when they seize your phone. They can use data recovery techniques to access photos that were once thought to be permanently deleted. Hey, Angela, what's up? And then just say if we did pictures or anything and they're not open, they delete after 31 days, okay? It hasn't been 31 days either. Let's see what they're saying right here. They let's see, forensics, certified specialists recover and analyze deleted messages while preserving their integrity for court use. Okay. Well, have a good day at work, Angelo. Let's see what they say here. I told you, they said right here. Any inappropriate or incriminating content shared on the app will be retrieved and used in court of law. This includes messages you believe have been deleted. So, I still believe they can get it, some of that, if he actually had videos or messages on his phone. But the thing is, if his phone was left on the boat, okay, and he didn't have it with him when he became missing, okay, he probably wouldn't have anything on that phone. But at the same time, that's only if the story that we hear is true. Okay, now say if he was on that boat and something popped off of that boat and his phone was left behind because, like I said, an altercation happened and he either fell or got pushed off the boat. What if it happened like that? So then it may be something on that phone. Not if it's an accident, right? And they don't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Get panicky and scared. They would basically, because they're not experts, okay? They would basically go online, just like you just probably did, without fully researching it all the way down. And they would look at the first 2 or 3 things that says, once you delete the stuff, no one can get it, okay? And then they probably thought they were fine if they did this, okay? Because we don't know if they did this or not. They probably thought everything was fine, okay? Because why wouldn't they call Nolan's parents and tell them they have the phone? Come and get it, or we'll bring it to you. And how on earth are you sitting up there with a whole group of people watching some damn movie in the dark when your friend was missing and found unalive? And they supposed to all be good friends, right? How? And then you sit up here with the damn phone in the truck. Like, I mean, they're investigating stuff, so you can't say you just forgot. Because they're investigating stuff. So you're going to try to help the investigation by supplying everything you need to. That's why I said this don't add up. It's weird. Okay, what did she say? Well, I think I just went over that. I said, if he was on a boat, right, and something happened there, he might have been taking pictures on the boat. You know how sometimes people get their phone when you be arguing and stuff and post stuff or just be recording things, okay? And if they did get in the altercation, obviously you're not gonna have your phone still in your hand if you tussle it. That's how his phone got left on the boat. Because how can you explain the fact that they, hold on, okay, how can you explain the fact that they had their phone and did not automatically turn it in to the parents? And then the mom said, it seems like it was erased clean. Things were deleted because his phone really don't never be like that. Because he likes to take pictures. He likes to do all that type of stuff. Most kids do help. Grown-ups do that. When a grown-up go places, most of them, somewhere they never been especially, they usually take pictures, whether they put them up on social media or not. You take pictures, okay? And you keep them for memories. So he went to Hawaiian Island on 4th of July. Why wouldn't he be taking pictures on the boat and stuff like that? You said something in the milk not clean, possibly. I agree. Yeah, at 11 p.m. he went missing, though, at 4. How many hours is that? Katie last saw Nolan at between 3 and 3:30. Trayston last saw Nolan, I think that was him. One of them boys last saw Nolan between 4 and 4:30. So from 4:30 to 11. It took them that long to call the Coast Guard. If they didn't see or anything, he didn't come back because they went back to the mainland. At what time? What time were they there? I can't remember. But anyway, they were there long enough to realize that Nolan is nowhere to be found. Okay? So then you would automatically call the Coast Guard or whatever the case is. But they returned back there around 7 o'clock or so, I think. I think that's what they just said, 7:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere around that time. So you're talking about they didn't call the Coast Guard until 11? Why would Nolan still be on a damn island at 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and it's dark as shit out there? Okay, they don't have any type of amenities out there or anything. Why would he still be on the island? Doing what? So when they got back to the mainland and everything, and they noticed in an hour that Nolan is nowhere to be found, wouldn't you think automatically they would call his parents and then call the police too? You said we are assuming everything was good July the 4th before they even got to the island until these kids talk. We have no clue. Right? We don't even know what really went on. We just really just throwing out theories, you know. But getting back to this, from 4 to 11, and let's just say from 7:30 to 11, if you don't see your friend back on the mainland, he's not calling you, he's not hitting you up or whatever, whatever lingo you use, wouldn't you be like, damn, where's Nolan? Where's my boy at? Where he at? Then let me call him. Let me, you know. But then they had his damn phone. But so, and that's another thing too. If he's staying on the island, and yes, we know they don't get no service there, but what about when he leaves the island? He needs his phone then, right? Because when he leaves the island, he could have easily contacted his friends and say, I'm back on the mainland. So that's why I don't believe this story. I just don't. Okay? The phone was already erased, West Hill. Everything on the phone was deleted. She said the phone didn't have anything on it from that date. So, I mean, and he was 18, grown. I mean, what can they possibly do besides talk if he did have something on his phone he didn't want them to see? But the phone was deleted. So, I mean, that's not even the issue. The issue is, why did they have the phone so long and did not tell the mom and dad? They could easily delete everything off the phone like it was deleted anyway. And like I said before, if they got back at 7:30 but didn't notify the Coast Guard to 11, and they know they left their friend there with some chick that he really didn't even know, wouldn't you be questioning where's Nolan at? He didn't have his phone, so he can't text you, which is very odd, because even though he can't use his phone on the island, he definitely has to use his phone once he gets back on the mainland. That's why I don't believe this. I don't believe this story. You know, even when you can't use your damn phone, you got your phone. Okay? I've been on the beach with my phone. Okay? Because you know, I live out here in Southern California. Beaches everywhere. I've been on the beach with my phone. Shit, no service. I've been all up in the mountains with my phone. No service. Because you just never know. Sometimes the service come in for a couple of minutes or so, and then go back out in a couple of seconds or whatever the case is. You know, but like I said before, even with no service, you can still take pictures. You can still, you know, do a video without, you know, Wi-Fi or anything. So I believe this story. They're going to have to show me actual proof for me to believe all this stuff. I just do not believe this. So this is plainly ridiculous, man. You go, your homeboy, y'all know from the old school homeboy, your boy, your dude, whatever, your man, so whatever. Shit. He didn't come back when he should be back now, because it's dark as hell on that damn island. What could he possibly be doing there? You know what I'm saying? On the island when everybody else was gone. That's weird. And it could have been some other people left behind, but did he know those people? And still, why would he be on this island when it get dark okay? Because there's nothing there as far as no amenities, no bathroom, no nothing, no places you can eat or anything. Okay, so the thing is, even though, just say this is true, okay? You're trying to get lucky with Katie or whatever the case is. If they get back to the mainland and you don't hear anything from Nolan, normal people would immediately call the Coast Guard, police, or whatever in the parents. That's what normal people would do because it's dark. Okay, it don't take that long to get laid. Okay, it doesn't take that long to do all of that. And Katie already said that their interaction was brief. Katie departed from Nolan at 3 o'clock or 3:30. So we know that can't be true. Now, he could have met somebody else there, but still, say he did meet someone else there, okay, and hooked up with them and something happened. It still doesn't explain the fact why they did not call the police earlier, in the parents earlier, in about the damn phone. Because I don't need Nolan's phone. If Nolan is missing or unalive, I'm giving that phone to his mom. I don't give a damn about no mess that he could have had on his damn phone. They're trying to find out where their son is at. Nobody cares about that. And more importantly, like we just said, Katie already said their interaction was brief. And I mean, we don't know what could have happened in that little time, but the thing is, it's irrelevant anyway because she said she didn't see him. She last saw him between 3 and 3:30. Okay. And then the other dude said he last saw Nolan at around 4-ish or 4:30-ish. So what happened to him after that time? And why didn't they call the police at about 8 o'clock or 8:30? Because after they got to the mainland, got situated and stuff, why didn't they call the police? Or why in the hell were they sitting there watching a movie when the dude is missing and maybe unalive? I couldn't even do that because I'm like, if this is my boy, or my man's and thing, there's no way in hell I'm up here watching some damn movie. I'm trying to figure out what happened to him. Where is he at? And just like his phone, he left his phone behind. Most friends would be like, take your phone anyway, because you're going to need your phone when you get back on the boat and come back over. So you can hit us up and let us know you're here. So this does not make any sense to me. It just really doesn't. The thing about it, though, okay, common sense should come into play. If you all went on a trip together, and yeah, your friend want to hook up with some girl or whatever the case is and do whatever he wants to do, if that person does not come back at a reasonable time, you should be concerned about it. And that's when you should be calling the parents in 911. Listen, I got some kids myself. And even though 10 p.m. is not super late on the island, and you're there basically on this dark ass island and there's nothing there, it's late. Okay? I mean, who the hell be on that island past 10 unless they're on their boats? I mean, what can you possibly be doing there? There's nothing there. I know you said that before. The thing is, though, since he's coming back, he's on the island, basically with this girl or whomever he's there with, he should have his phone. Because when he gets back to mainland, he needs to have his phone so he can contact everybody, his boys, and let them know he's back. Okay? Now, all teenagers are not irresponsible. I got like 6 kids. Okay? And my son is 18. He's a teen. And I raised my other kids from being teenagers. Trust me, I know how they operate. And I used to teach school, so I definitely know how these little kids operate. And all kids are not dodo birds in the twilight zone and irresponsible. Some are actually responsible, and it's all about safety too. Okay, it's about safety, That's just common sense. And you said if they thought Nolan was with Katie, would have no reason to call the Coast Guard. The thing is, though, if it's accessible, if it's late, okay, 10 o'clock, it's still late to be there on that island. All right. And he does not have a phone with him or anything. You know, you can't contact him or anything. I would be wondering where he's at. Okay. I would be wondering where he's at. If that's the case at damn 11 o'clock, they shouldn't even be wondering that, because he could have still been with Katie. He could have still been getting his groove on with Katie, but he wasn't. If you went to an island with your friends and your friends say, I want to stay back and hook up with this girl or this guy, if your friend does not come back home or hook back up with you guys or anything at a specific time, that would make me wonder, what's up? What's up? And then y'all got his damn phone, so you can't call him up just in case he's on the mainland now with this chick to check out what's going on. So yeah, I would call the police and say, yeah, my friend was with me and we left him on the island and he's nowhere to be found. We don't know what's up. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. And then another thing too is, like I just said, why didn't they go ahead and turn their phone over to the parents once they did know that Nolan was missing, possibly unalive? When you think the mom and dad should have the phone just in case something is there? Now let's see what else we got. What did I just say we was ready to show? I forgot that quick. Let's see. Somebody was going to see. Let me go back and see. Talking about missing. A person has to be missing for 24 hours, or is that what you're talking about? Oh, they know the voice said F-U-C-K-I-N-G, but for the purposes of YouTube, social media, you got to use this word instead. Freaky. You can't say F-U-C-K-I-N-G. Every now and then I may say it on my Country Wayne skits, but I don't say it that many times. Okay, certain things we can't say here on, YouTube. Just like we can't say, I mean, every now and then I may say G-U, but not that much. You can't say that, or, you have to use other words. That's why sometimes I stop when I'm talking, because I be trying to replace those words. Okay, that's cool. Let me go back and make sure I didn't miss any other messages. No, they could have had an argument. Not that he could be filming them while if they unalived him or whatever. I think if anything happened with them, I think they just probably got into some type of altercation. That's it. And it just got out of hand. Maybe he fell or something like that. You said Nolan was in shorts and shirtless, no shoes. Why wouldn't he come back to where his car was and with his phone? Right, that's weird. I mean, the whole thing is strange. Because like I said, even though he can't use his phone on the island itself, when he gets back to the mainland, he can use his phone and he can call his friends. This is to let them know he's there. And that's another reason why, something ain't right. Because let's say he left his phone. Okay. Well, most friends would be like, you take your phone with you, dude. Take your phone with you. So when you come back, you can hit us up and let us know that you're back. Okay. Because even though you can't use the phone on the island, when you get back, you can hit us up to let us know you're here so we can know you're safe. That's what people do. You said, you keep saying why about everything, but you should also be coming up with plausible theories that do make sense. I mean, those can make sense. They make sense to me that some of these things could have happened. I mean, do any of us really know what happened? Everybody in this chat is coming up with theories that, he just drowned or nobody did it. Those are all theories. We don't know for sure yet because we haven't heard about the autopsy or anything. I think the parents know their son better than anybody on social media. Any content creator or anybody that do not know, Nolan. His parents know him, and they said this is odd, very odd. They know their son. Okay, we don't know Nolan. We're just looking at some information and just basically, like I said, put out there what we think. It doesn't mean it has to be correct. That's why you say I think, because we don't know. Ain't nobody trying to get sued. So you're just thinking and you're just coming up with theories. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, like I just said, the last time the dude said he saw Nolan is between 4 and 4:30. The girl said, Katie said she last saw him at 3 or 3:30 when she assumed he got back on the boat with his friends he came with. Okay, that's it. We don't know what happened after 4 p.m. Okay, that's why I said what happened to Nolan after 4 or 4:30. What happened? That's why I said that 50,000 times. What happened to Nolan Wells after 4 or 4:30 if these people are telling the truth about the time? Okay? Because we don't know if these times, I think on something they got a time stamp or something. But anyway, I don't think we know exactly the time that she actually saw him last, or I don't know about the dude. Now, I said I was going to play. Let me go here. I said I was going to play something else for you guys. Okay. Let me see what I was going to play. Because we covered the mom's video. Oh, I know what I wanted to play. I wanted to show y'all this other video. Okay. You said there are hundreds of theories. Questioning what doesn't make sense is more productive. The thing is this right here. Like I said before, everybody got theories. Nobody really knows. Okay, that's why they are doing an investigation. Okay. For me, I don't care about what other people think. For me, things do not add up. Okay, it could prove down the road that these kids are telling the truth. We don't know because we are not police officers. We're not investigators. We're not forensic people or anything. We're just basically coming together, just talking about the case, just trying to figure out what we think could have happened. We could all be wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm not going to say on my line that I know these kids did something. I don't know. Just like I don't know if they didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, these are all just what I think, just like what you're saying, is what you think, period. This is all it is. Okay? Now let's go over here and look at this other video. Just like this other video, if I can find it here. I don't know if these people are telling the truth or not, but I want to show it, because it's good just to see stuff. I saw it on What's Her Name's live earlier, and so I wanted to show it here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not going to show it from his live, but I'm going to see if I can find it on TikTok. Because one thing I don't do, I don't go to other people's lives and play their stuff like that. Not like that. Not content creators. On TikTok, I'll show this stuff, but not on YouTube, because I'm definitely going to get a copyright thing. Okay, now let's go back over here and do this. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Let me see. What is the name of the video? You got the name of it already. Let's see. I screenshot it. Let me look on my phone. Thank God for screenshots, because man, if I didn't have this, I'd have to go look up the daggone video on his live. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it like this. Yeah, this is it right here. So let's see what they're talking about. Let's see if we believe them, okay? That's all we're gonna do.
All right.
Oh my God. Let's do it again.
All right. So we want to talk about Nolan Wells today.
So today, we actually know someone that works transporting bodies, human remains.
Turn this
They
up.
were just talking about the body that they
Came
encountered.
across. This
So-
was Nolan Wells.
So before knowing all that, he said that the body was mistreated.
Yeah.
It looked abused. It was like he was tortured. Looked as if he was burnt, maybe.
Where?
Face, body, said he was burnt.
And not only that, his body was mistreated and when they transported him.
So as they were transporting him, he was actually face down. So everyone knows when you're transporting the body, when only a couple of people work that job, they all know you don't transport the body face down. That's kind of very disrespectful. So you always have them face up. Well, specifically his body whatever reason was face down. And me personally, I took that as disrespect.
Yeah.
Heart goes out to the family.
Yes, definitely.
Because all we know is what they put out
On the internet. And
but today we
What's
actually
real.
found out a lot about his autopsy without even reading the autopsy.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
heartbreaking.
You
so
tell us
sorry that
shit.
family have to go through this. Really just
Want to give our condolences
Yeah.
to the family. As a mom or moms,
moms, grandmothers,
dads,
family,
family.
period.
Period. Just we give the most prayers to you,
Yeah.
and we stand behind you
Mhm.
because we know
Right,
what really happened.
right. So
And at the end of the day, whatever lies those families have covered up, or whatever lies they're trying to cover, we're sorry.
yeah.
And we're here for you. And we just want you to know that what was seen today
Was
was
unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And that's why we want to inform
so
what's
it's-
going on during the transport like
this
that.
isn't something you can be quiet on
At all.
when you've seen something so heartbreaking as a child, go through something traumatic.
Traumatic. Yes.
It hurts to know that was done to him in the ways that we can't even express.
Right.
And as a person, you should have some type of humanity.
Right.
And I felt like those people who was transporting him did not have humanity in no way, shape, or form. Because if I can feel the way I feel about the situation, just listening to what happened, you also can listen to what happened to this child.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that is a child that you did that to.
Right.
So this child needs justice
Justice.
because
Justice
we're not going to sleep
at
until
all.
he gets it.
At all. And I heard the feds are in Mississippi right now. So justice for Nolan Wells.
No matter what.
Our heart goes out to his mom,
His
and his family, everybody.
And just know, families, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, let me listen to that part again. What she said about his body.
And not only that, his body was mistreated and when they transported him.
Hold on, let me go back.
Face, body, said he was burnt.
Hold on.
Was mistreated.
Yeah.
It looked abused. It was like he was
Hold on. Let me go back.
all day.
This
So-
was Nolan Wells.
So before knowing all that, he said that the body was mistreated.
Yeah.
It looked abused. It was like he was tortured. Looked as if he was burnt, maybe.
Where?
Face, body, said he was burnt.
And not only that, his body was mistreated and when they transported him.
So as they were transporting him, he was actually face down. So everyone knows when you're transporting the body, when only a couple of people work that job, they all know you don't transport
So,
the body
wait a minute,
face
hold
down.
on.
That's kind of is mistreated.
Yeah.
It looked abused. It was like he was tortured.
Okay, so like I said before, I don't know if these women are telling the truth or not. And I'm pretty sure when his body gets to, if it's not already there, it should probably already be there. I don't know. Washington, D.C., and they do another autopsy, an independent autopsy. We would find out then if this is true right here. Tortured, burnt, and all this other stuff. How would that have happened? As far as them when they transported his body, allegedly, if they had him the way that these girls are saying, and they got proof, because the person who told them, I hope, if this is true, I hope they took pictures of that. Because see, the thing is, if you don't take pictures or anything, how can you improve something? Remember, they said somebody told them this who transported, who I guess who was there. So I wonder, they say they know more. I wonder, did the person take pictures or anything? And if so, then that definitely needs to be brought out to, maybe sent to Attorney Crump or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they got this or not. Okay, that's why I said we don't know. Right. And like I said, just like Jermaine just said, if they are telling, y'all need to listen real good. I said, if they are telling the truth, when they do that independent autopsy sometime soon, it's going to indicate if these two girls are being honest or being dishonest. And they should know this too. Why would you even get up here? Why would you even get on social media and lie in the first place when you know that they are going to do an independent autopsy and then, the truth will come out? So why would they get up here anyway and lie? Because they just got this video about a day or so ago. And they've been announcing since what? Last week they're going to do an independent autopsy, a second one. And they're not going to lie. Them are not going to lie. Okay, so that's why they took the body up to Washington, D.C. to do it. So we'll see if these ladies are telling the truth or not. But just say if they are telling the truth, tortured and burned, that's a whole nother damn ball game right there, if that's true. Tortured and burnt. Because that's aside from, I guess, when they transported his body. And then they said that he was face down, and that's very, disrespectful. I mean, it's weird. So I don't know, like I said, for sure if these girls are telling the truth or not, but we will find out eventually. Let's see what some of these people said in the comment section. Somebody said this sounds like the person who did the transporting was too afraid to come forward. So the friends of that person, these two nurses, had the courage to do this. It is disrespectful to the parents, yes. However, this has now become a social justice issue on a global platform, not even just national. These women deserve all the love for having the courage to come forward. Okay, another commenter said, I doubt very seriously that any of what they said was true or that anyone has said this, unless they want to be fired from ever working in the medical profession again and prosecuted for breaking HIPAA laws. People, please stop buying into all these rumors. So like I just said, if they are lying, it will come out with the actual independent autopsy. Okay. So I hope they're not lying, because it's not cute at all. Okay, another commenter said, I do believe that these two young women meant no harm, and they do seem credible. I just wish they would have thought this through. If the parents have not seen the body and they are already grieving, hearing this on social media can be devastating. If they wanted to be helpful, they could have reached out to their attorney, Nick Crump, like I said, who is pleading with people to come forward. Oh, man. So the thing about it, I don't know if these women are lying or not. Okay, I don't know. I just want y'all to see this and, tell me if you guys think they're lying or whatever the case is, because eventually we're going to find out anyway when that independent autopsy is completed. I don't know if that's, I don't know how the HIPAA stuff works, with what you can disclose or not. So I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not a lawyer. So this person right here, let me read this comment real quick. Damn, I made a mistake and Went up too quick. Somebody said, I believe them. These ladies are not lying. Like I said, there's a lot of people lying. They be lying. Okay, I don't know for sure. I'm not gonna say they are lying, and I'm not gonna say they're not lying. Okay. Somebody said you can tell they saw photos. I don't know. So this person said to all the naysayers, government regulations require transport boxes for human remains to be handled with the utmost respect. Both the Transportation Security Administration and U.S. Customs and Border Protection retain the legal authority to open and inspect any cargo or baggage, including a deceased person transport container, to ensure security compliance and verify contents. Okay. Okay, really, thank you for the information. But I mean, does that still mean that he couldn't have been face down? I mean, we don't know. So they had another video up, okay? And they went on and described everything, man. So now this lady giving us a whole rundown. Oh man, let's let me read this real quick to see what she's saying. She must be a doctor or a nurse or something. Let's see. Post-mortem mechanical damage. Once the body is in the water, the environment itself causes physical trauma, scrape marks. Current-driven bodies move face down and head first. This causes scraping and lacerations on the forehead, knees, knuckles, and top of the feet as they drag across rocks, sand, or riverbeds. Propeller and boat impact. Bodies in shipping lanes or recreational waters can suffer severe lacerations, fractures, or dismemberment from passing watercraft. Oh man, they can get washerworm in the hands. I don't know what that is, where the skin on the fingers and toes wrinkle, swells, and eventually peels away entirely. And then, of course, the animals in the water can cause damage. But he wasn't in there long enough. Okay, let's see. Because he could have been in the water. I don't know. Because they say when they first looked in the water, you know, they looked from the boat, I guess. Not from the boat, from the plane or whatever the case is. Maybe from boats too. I don't know. They didn't see his body. Okay. They didn't see his body until, I believe, the 6th of July. Okay. So, but they said, somewhere I read, they said it didn't appear to be waterlogged. So if his body wasn't waterlogged, and just say he's been missing since the 4th of July, if he was in that water all that time, wouldn't it be waterlogged? And all this other stuff would have, what this lady is saying in this comment section over here, wouldn't that have happened? Some of those things, like, you know, the fish in the water and all of that stuff, you know, him hitting rocks or whatever the case is, you know, and he would have waterlogged, being in that water that long. Let's see how long it takes a body to get that when they drown. Let's see how long it takes. Let's see. Let's see. It said not very long. Let's see here. So they say it usually takes 2 to 3 days in warm water, and longer in cold water for the gases to build up, and it would make the body float, okay? Then as far as being waterlogged, they said that could take they said not very long, but it could take some days to get a direct answer. And usually bodies float on water after being unalive for 24 hours. Let's see. I just want to know about being waterlogged. Let's see, how long does it take? Let's see, hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can get a more direct answer. They say it could take up to a couple of days. Hmm. And this one person right here said he basically recover bodies from water, okay? And he said that it can take an hour to 35 days. It depends on the type of water and all of that. And so he was in the ocean. Damn, they said soft tissues like the nose, lips, and so on are often damaged or gone, but not always. Also, the water temperature. Hey, so I guess, the waterlog theory, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm assuming reading this stuff. So that's not no real indication, I guess. So he could have been in that water and just took a while to float up. What did they say? They say it takes somebody how long to float? It depends on many different factors. I remember that, the water temperature and how quick your gases build up and all that type of stuff. It can take from days to, I think they said, from a day to a couple of days or months or whatever the case is. Some people say after 24 hours, so it's a trip. Let me see what y'all said up here. Okay, let's go back because y'all over here tripping. Let's see. So you said you don't trust these ladies, but if they are telling the truth, the autopsy will vindicate them. It could also be that the body has certain ocean damage that some transport person does not have the expertise to interpret, or their source is the liar, right? Maybe Nolan will sacrifice in honor of America's 250th anniversary. Maybe we are witnessing a ritual. Okay. Oh, could be. I mean, you just never know. You never know. You listen. If we want to go cray cray, you just never know. Okay. You said a shark got him. I don't know about that. I think they would have said something like that. No, we said from anywhere from, what did I say from reading it? I said from, I forgot how long I said. I said from a couple hours or something. I can't remember, all the way up into days or months. Right. Okay, it's cool. Okay. Oh, man. So even if he wasn't a waterlogged, it doesn't mean he couldn't have been in that water. Okay, according to all the stuff that I just read. He could have still been in that water because it depends on the water temperature, the water itself, and a lot of other factors. Okay. I didn't even know the human body can disappear in the water. Okay, I'm learning something new right here. And I went to school for medical. I wanted to be a pediatrician at first. So yeah. So I did not know they disappear completely in water like that. So if they didn't see him at first, it's probably, if he was in that water at first, it's probably because his body did not float up to the top at that particular time, because they said that depends on many factors, okay? Like the water temperature, if it's a lake, ocean, or pond, how quick gas is built up. A lot of different things play in the role of that. Okay, so that could be very possible that he was in that water and then his body floated up when they went back, to 6. Okay, so there you go. I do not know. I don't know. This is a hard thing. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Because let's look at something else. What just say, because no one's seen him out to 4:30, okay? Not that I know of. At least no one is saying nothing. I haven't seen any videos, okay? So let's just say at 4:30, something cray happened on that island. Who's to say nothing happened on the island and then he wasn't put back on the boat, taken out and thrown in the water? See, we don't know these things. And the thing about it is, if no one seen anything, okay, it can be, you can easily make people think that someone basically drowned in no foul play, especially if you're very careful when you do certain things. The only thing about it, though, once they do the autopsy, they will be able to tell if he was unalive before he went into that water, because when they do all the forensic studies and all of that stuff, then they'll be able to tell that he was unalive before he went in that water. But us looking in from the outside, we won't be able to know that, until that autopsy report come in. So we looking on the outside, we could easily say somebody, unalived him on the island and just, put him in the water and make it look like he basically drowned when swimming or whatever the case is, or he went out there to pee, or like y'all said, or whatever the case is. But once those autopsy reports come in, they're going to know. And maybe this is why the sheriff said, even though he does not expect foul play, the investigation is still open, because maybe they did see something that's kind of weird, because they did not release the autopsy report publicly. And I don't even think they told the parents anything about it from the last time I read that. So they're going to do their own independent autopsy report, but I don't think they should release anything either. I don't think the parents should say anything. I think they should wait for the state's autopsy report to come out first, okay? And then they bring theirs out. And the reason why is because if they put theirs out first and just say their information indicates it is, something else, the state can then go back, not saying they would do this, you know what I'm saying, but just say if they could, they can go back and change it up, okay, just to cover. They can just do a lot of different stuff. So I think they should do theirs after the state releases their autopsy report. And then if the state got an autopsy report that says, oh, he just drowned, but yet just say Nolan's parents' autopsy report come back and say, well, he was unalive before he got in the water. And then it's going to point out several things. It's going to point out that somebody's covering something up, something more happened, and etc. So that's why they shouldn't even publicly put theirs out, all right, until after the state puts theirs out and go from there. And then we can all see, that if Nolan drowned without any possible help, you know what I'm saying? They can pretty much determine certain things. Like I said, they can determine if he was unalive before he went in that water, or if he had any injuries or anything like that that came before he drowned. Okay, point blank. They can tell all of that stuff. They can tell all of those things. That's why they do an autopsy, and then they can bring in forensic people, all types of stuff, and they can tell. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, I think I showed all of those videos I think that I wanted to show. Hold on, let me see what else I got. Make sure. It's 1:58 on the West Coast, you guys. This case is sad though. Let's see. So we did the tracking thing and all that. Let me look on my other phone to make sure. It's so cold in this house, you guys. With this damn air conditioner. So I think we covered everything. Yeah, I think we covered everything. Anything you want to add, West Hill or Jermaine? Because I want to tell y'all about this other thing real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. Anything y'all want to add? Let me take these women, but I don't know if these girls right here, these young ladies right here, I don't know if they're lying or not. I don't know. If this had happened in Michigan instead of Mississippi, I would be willing to trust the local authorities more, because in Mississippi, it's known, for racism. I was born in Mississippi. I got family members in Mississippi, so yeah, I would never live there. Not putting it down or anything, I just wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much racism for me and stuff. They still, like, in certain areas of Mississippi, in certain cities and stuff, they still got black people living in one area, white people living in another area. It's so weird. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I don't know exactly what happened. I mean, I still say it's some weird shit, because the phone stuff, nobody's seeing him. It is, all these people are on the island still, and no one saw Nolan Wells after 4:30 or 4 o'clock. No one saw him after that. And then all of a sudden he magically turns up unalive in the water, appeared to have drowned. And yeah, something is not adding up, because I'm trying to figure out what on earth was he doing from that time, 4 or 4:30 p.m. on the 4th of July, all the way up until the time where he got unalive. What happened? Because Katie wasn't still there. Katie went home. I mean, there is proof of that. She went home. And I think her parents, if I'm not mistaken, I think she said her parents picked, I'm not sure with Katie, but I know she went home. I thought I read that her parents picked her up. So he was just on the island by himself, with other people, and no one saw him or anything else. It's kind of weird. And if he did get on that boat, what happened on that boat? Point blank. You said the pool photo seems like June the 27th and seemed attached to Alicia Spencer's pool story, but the way she wrote that, the names and so on, it sounds realistic. Okay. You said Mississippi's past is littered with recreational violence against Black people. I agree. I guess a lot of stories from Mississippi, huh? A lot. And another interesting fact is the thing that Nola's parents said they did not know. What's the dude's name? Tracy. What's his name? Tracy. And that's weird. He said he's a close friend, childhood friend, or whatever the case is, and they didn't even know this dude at all, but yet they know his other, friends. That's weird. No, let's go ahead and read it. Let me put it in the thing real quick. I don't put so much stuff up here. Let me put it up here real quick before we get ready. Switch this and then get ready to get out of here. Oh man. Y'all, it is hard doing these lives late at night. Y'all just don't know, especially when you be up all damn day, and then with the work and everything else. And then 50 other lives in pre-recorded videos. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull it up. Is this it right here? Let's see. Oh yeah, we did we read this? No, we didn't read this. Just let's read this out loud here. Okay, thanks, Westfield. You said, if this is true, it's confessing. I, Nolan, went to the pool party after the island. How did his body get discovered on the island? You're saying they beat him up at the pool? Why wait till now to tell his mother? His mother knew, ma'am. I've been told her, yes. Andrew was trying to keep us quiet and trying to put fear to us because he's bigger than all of us. But I told no, mom, and that's why the private autopsy was made. But yes, it was a big fight at Evan's house at the pool the same night. But yes, Riot and Andrew and Evan was jumping him after Evan's mom threatened to call the cops on everybody to leave her house. Everybody left, but no didn't. He wanted his phone. And that's Nolan, okay? Say, yes, ma'am, my brother going to get justice. The truth is out. They took him back to the island that Monday morning around 4. They found him, I think, 8 or 9. I can show you the what? Well, I would tell you to go look at it. Okay. So who is this girl? Westfield. Let me pull this up. Who is this chick? Let me see if they got any more here. I want to turn this. Let me stop it right there. Ow! Okay, let's see. Let's read it again. Brother No didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our other friend No and Riot did get into an altercation. Right after that, not even 10 minutes later, cause Riot took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, give me my fucking phone back. Nigga, what's wrong with you? So they all calmed down. So that's when we heard, that's when we headed to Evan's house because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, No came to the party and yes, we was drinking. But Wyatt and Evan and Morgan and Andrew was really hot. And I think they was trying to get Lucy and Natalie to try some as well. But yes, they got into it again at the pool party and it didn't end until almost 1 a.m. I know Evan's mom kicked us all out. Once they started fighting, it was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt and Warren was basically recording and laughing, saying, get him. And all I could hear was No screaming, Mom. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom come out screaming, yelling, drunk, made us leave, and was saying she was going to call the cops on us if we didn't leave her house. But they didn't let No leave, and No was by the basketball goal that was inside the pool. He was leaning over beside it, grasping for air and spitting the blood. And now his mom know. I just got off the phone with her. Who is this girl? Hold on. So, okay. So who is this chick? Let me see what y'all say. It's probably just the fake name. You say it's nonsense, Jermaine, so you don't believe it at all. So you think somebody just got up here and put this up here. You said Alicia Spencer seemed to be sent around with the pool photo. Okay. This is weird. Let me see what some of these, no comments over here because I want to see. Let me see if anybody else talking about this letter. This text. Hold on, let's see this.
Does anyone actually know who this Alasia Spencer girl is? Because Nolan's mom is like, we don't know her and have never talked to her. And she has specifically been saying his mother knew, ma'am. I told her, yes, Andrew was trying to keep us quiet and trying to put fear to us because he's bigger than all of us. But I told Nono's mom, you know, Nolan's mom down here, yes, ma'am, my brother's going to get justice. She's speaking on Nolan. And Christine, Nolan's mother, said she is not a close friend of our son's and I've never spoken or met with her. So
there go Christine talking. So these people doing weird shit.
What's going on, Alasia Spencer? I did see that Crump acknowledged, you know, that they've seen this photo.
So that is Nolan right there. You can tell that's him. But that's at that pool party on June the 27th. That's what Trey Steen said.
They're going to investigate everything, you know, because regardless of whether someone's lying or not, this does look suspect, right?
Yeah, but that was June the 27th, according to Trey Steen. That's weird. These people just doing all types of weird shit. So who do y'all think? Well, I know you guys don't know who did it, but why do you think the person, if this is fake and they're lying, why do you think the person put this here? Okay, let me go and read y'all comments. That is cray-cray. Okay, let's see. One, hey, Lonnie, thank you so much for being here. One can't believe that something happened to Nolan on the boat coming back from Horn Island and something happened to Nolan later that night at the pool party. I just don't know, y'all. Does it sound fake to you? It has some parts calling him no. That way she drops names, sound source of realistic at times. Anything is possible. I can't say, I don't know. It could be a combination of truth and lies for all we know. We just don't know. But why? The mom says she doesn't know her though. Okay. It sounds like it could be for real. The way she was talking about the fight and all the other stuff. The mom was drunk and all this other stuff. What's the name's mom? I don't know. It could be. Said that she was the one who gave Nolan's phone back to his mom. But Nolan's mom said that it was Javion's mother who got the phone from the friends and brought it to her. Well, remember, the girl, Katie, went to retrieve the phone. Do y'all think Alasia Spencer could be Katie? I mean, who knows? You said she made up the story for attention. That's so damn stupid if she did. Rolling Stone said that metadata said the pool photo was taken June the 27th. However, people point out older mustache dude has USA shaved into his chest. Let's go look at that. It was right here on this one right here, right? Let's see. And Jermaine, what picture did you say they had on the exact same clothing? Okay, that they had on at the when they went there to the island. Let me go back over here. Oh man, let's see.
Nolan's mother said she, Nolan's.
Turn her voice down. Let me look back. So, because I think somebody showed a closer up picture of this. I think it was the other person. You can see him right there. Said Wyatt, Evan, and Andrew were jumping Nolan at Evan's home. I'm just trying to see if she's going to do. Okay, here it is right here. So y'all said this dude right here got USA on his chest. I can't really tell on this picture right here because you can't enlarge it on here. But I can do this right here on my phone and possibly see it. Let's see. Let me do it like this. And then I can see it myself. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he does. USA. Somebody's lying somewhere. Okay, for real, for real. Because again, why would he have USA tech shaved into his chest like this? Like it's for 4th of July. And then this is Nolan right here, right? Looking back at the camera and all this. Let's see. Why did they circle this over here? That's interesting. Okay, the fact that he got USA shaved into his chest, and usually people do that for the 4th of July. Oh, hold on, let me see. You said these liars are being put out to run cover. Notice everybody running cover is black. I know, which is weird. And why is that? Because you think if something bad happened and the black people know, they would say something unless they're being threatened. But I tell you what, that independent autopsy is going to tell us the truth. Okay? Because one thing we do know, Big Crump is not going to lie about this autopsy and stuff. He's not going to cover for nobody. You said if you put USA shaved into his chest and Google some wrestlers comes up, maybe he mimicking him. But I'm thinking though he got USA on him because of the 4th of July. And then again, he couldn't have it up there because of a wrestler. But why did the wrestler have USA on his chest? Because he's all for the USA. So I mean, this is just like I said, you just don't really know with all this stuff. But I do remember Trey Steen said that it was on June the 27th, and it wasn't nothing they just did for the 4th of July. I'm not sure if this is a thing where people shave. Well, white people do. They definitely do because they be doing some weird shit out here where I live at. So yeah, they definitely was shaving, honey. On 4th of July, they be going all out, all out. And when I say all out, I mean all out. And some of them do shave stuff into their chest and their head. Cut their hair, put that in there, all types of weird stuff. How they damn dogs dressed up saying that it's weird. A damn whole family be dressed up. And the house be decorated. You said, I'm not sure if it is a thing. Okay, I already read it. That's bull crap. Pfeiffer. That's why he has a US shaved on his. Okay. Thank you, Jermaine. Okay, I forgot all about the thing. Because it was going on in June, so yeah. So that's probably why. Okay, we just debunked that one right there, okay? Y'all won't be playing in this damn chat, do y'all? You said, wake up, guys. Damn, y'all making this harder than it is. Okay. So Jermaine came out here and just squashed it all up. He said, damn, it's for, soccer shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's for. Representing the USA. Okay, I forgot all about that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got a little soccer team, I forgot all about that. Probably somebody else probably linked it to that. She probably didn't. She probably just did a straight up text. And, just for people to connect it to and think it's true 100%. That's probably why they did it like that. But you just never know what could be true and what may not be true. You just never know. So it is what it is. But it is interesting. And if she is lying, why on earth would she lie like that? But the mom did say she did not know this chick unless this chick is using a fake name and it's someone else that the mom might know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Okay. All right. So anyway, I cannot wait until that autopsy report comes out. I definitely can't wait to hear the state first and then the independent autopsy second, because I think they should just do it like that first and stuff. And then we'll find out. At least we'll have a little bit more, some more answers. We may not ever find out 100%, but we will have some answers. You haven't seen anybody do that? Maybe he's the first. So the thing is, we really won't know for sure unless we ask him, why did he put USA on his chest? It could be for many different reasons, honey. So we don't really know. I mean, could think that it is for FIFA, the soccer teams and stuff, but I don't know. Represent for the USA. Did I say that right? FIFA. Because, I know when I had first started doing my soccer team with my friend over there in Nigeria, and I think I said something else. And he was like, that is not the way you pronounce that. So I think I said it right. I'm not sure. You say you did not check? I'm pretty sure he's not the only one who got that on his chest. Like I said, I have seen it all out here. So it is what it is. You said they're not into soccer. Well, a lot of people did look at that, and they're still watching the soccer stuff. So I don't know. What? Oh my God, let me see something. Now, I'm not going to talk about that subject right there, okay? I'm just not getting ready to talk about that subject, okay? Period. Anyway, some of those pictures are a trip. Just put it like that. The upper left. Wait. How about these right here? Mm-hmm. Yep. Touchy feeling. All of them are like that though. Touchy feeling. Okay, like that first picture we see. Touchy feeling. I don't know, y'all. No telling what these kids be, getting into. No telling. But anyway, let's move off of this right now. And if I get any more updates, of course, we'll go over them again like we just did tonight, tomorrow, and just see what we can come up with. Like I said, we don't really know 100%. We just have different theories, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, and everything is allegedly over here, everything, unless we know for sure. All right, let me give y'all some updated information on Carmelo Anthony real quick, okay? I think somebody red circle upper left for liquor bottles, but they look a little wobbly to be that. Probably so. Because they did say they had the alcohol, like beer or whatever the case is, in a circle. So they was getting bent, okay? And that's why they put that girl's ladder there, because they're trying to insinuate this is the pool party right here where they got into it at, and they were all drunk. That's why they circled the beer and all of that. So you just never know. Okay, but we'll find out, I guess, one day soon, hopefully. All right? So let me stop sharing this real quick. Okay, now, let me tell y'all this right here. It's an update on Carmelo Anthony's case, okay? I don't know if y'all follow that. Oh, man, it's so cold. Ow! I can't wait to lay in this bed because it's cold in here, y'all. So anyway, let me go on to it right here. So they said a new judge is appointed to hear Carmelo Anthony's post-trial recusal motion to decide if Judge Roach stays or not, because y'all know he refused to recuse himself. Did I say that right? From the case, okay? Anyway, the new judge will oversee the recusal hearing in Carmelo Anthony's murder case after defense challenges the trial's fairness and seek a new trial. And this is according to court documents. So let's see here. Anyway, new court documents obtained by WFAA show a new judge has been assigned to oversee the latest proceedings in the unaliving case of Carmelo Anthony, the former high school student convicted of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf. Now, according to the newly filed court records, a state judge signed an order on July the 14th assigning senior judge Sid L. Harley of the 226th District Court to preside over the defense's motion to recuse Collin County Judge John Roach. The assignment was effective immediately and authorizes Harley to handle all matters related to the recusal request, the filing read. Okay, so let's see here. So that's hopefully they go ahead and recuse him from this trial, because I don't see how he can't. I don't see how he would be fair. I really don't. You know, at all. If he did have a new trial or anything, and he would even grant the new trial. So, you know, hopefully, you know, he's recused from everything. But I did go over this with you guys last week, and I told y'all if he refuses to recuse himself, they can do some other things to get him from that damn case. And so that's what they're basically doing right here. So they're going to have a recusal hearing, okay, to recuse Judge Roach from this case, which will be good, point blank. Let's see. Yes, they got here. So they don't think that Judge Roach can be fair or impartial. Okay? And they said, based off the interview that he did, they don't think he could be fair or impartial. And so that's why they're bringing a motion to recuse, okay? And they're going to have the independent judge decide whether or not they can satisfy their legal standards. I don't know how long this process takes. Let's see. Okay, so Anthony's attorney's request does not challenge the jury's guilty verdict itself, but instead focuses on how the trial was conducted. So his attorneys, Anthony's attorneys, argue the court committed multiple errors during the June murder trial, preventing him from receiving a fair trial. I think he's going to get recused. I just recuse. I mean, I really do, because I don't see, you know, him having a fair trial. I just don't. And once they pointed out all the errors, you can basically see those errors. And they said they don't usually do this unless they feel that or know that errors were made. But he did say at the end of the day, he did say there are two sides to every story, and at the end of the day, it will be a judge that has to make these decisions. that they feel confident in the position they are taking. Constitutional irregularities. So that's why they're doing all of this. Like I told y'all before, when we went over this recusal thing and all this stuff for the motion for a retrial, and I went over everything that they said that was wrong. We went over all the errors that they believe. You know, one of them being the judge getting up there doing the interview, and they don't believe he can be, fair, basically, because he was doing the most, in that interview and stuff. And then another issue was how he was basically I don't want to use the word encouraging, but maybe putting a little pressure on the jury to go ahead and decide if Carmelo was guilty or innocent. So that's not something that should have been done. And then they even talked about transcripts and all of that. And what else? There was a lot of stuff there. Oh, the fact that they did not let him testify for himself. Okay. They claimed that the gentleman's agreement, what the prosecutors presented in front of them at first, they reneged on certain parts because they said that Anthony could get up there and talk as long as he did not bring up any past stuff, any past things from his past or anything, or from Austin and his brother Hunter. Okay. So at the end, I think it was the last day of his trial, Anthony wanted to go up, but then the prosecution allegedly started reneging on certain things, changing it up. And so that only allowed Carmelo, I believe, 10 minutes to make up his mind after they done damn scared him to on a live point, and so he decided not to testify. So now that's why another reason why they want to have a retrial, so they can give him an opportunity to defend himself. So, but like I said, we went over everything, and then I was reading from a straight up paper. So in case I got anything misconstrued, just go look up that information yourself, and you'll see, everything that they put there, all the errors and everything they're basically talking about. The attorneys for Carmelo Anthony, this team. Well, hopefully he is, Cher. Hopefully he's fair, okay, and not racist or anything. I think it will, okay, because there's no way he can be fair. I'm saying that because he can't be fair because he said he thought the jury made the right decision, so he automatically thinks that Carmelo is guilty. So how can he be fair? It doesn't matter how good he is. That doesn't mean that he can still be fair based on what he said in that interview. Okay? Anyway, y'all can look up that information and find out more stuff regarding that. I didn't read everything there because there's a whole bunch of stuff. So you guys can definitely go to WFAA.com. Okay, it's the article. New judge appointed to hear Carmelo Anthony's post-trial recusal motion to decide if Judge Roach stays or not. All right, so that's that update with Carmelo Anthony. Like I said, the Judge Roach refuses to recuse himself, so therefore they did appoint a new judge to hear everything, and he will make the decision if Judge Roach will be recused or not. Okay. Okay, now the next update, and then we're going to get out of here. I got another one. Hold on. Oh, the lady who did the unaliving in the Walgreens parking lot, I believe, or either Walmart. I think they said that was Walgreens. Is it Walmart or Walgreens? So I guess it's the Walmart. There's another thing they said Walgreens, but anyway, no, I'm getting confused with this other case. It is Walmart right here. It's another case that I did where the Uber driver got mad at a lady for parking close to his car, and he started screaming out of his window. Okay, so the lady moved, okay, her car and left. She didn't say anything to this dude. Okay, so when the lady and her son walked to Walgreens to go inside the shop or whatever, the psycho Uber driver gets out of his car and started yelling at them and doing the most. And so they got into like her son and him got into a verbal altercation. So the son turns around, I guess, and do a chest chest bump on him. You know how dudes do that, you know. And then they got into an altercation. So I think the black dude, the Uber driver pulled out his GUN, and him and the other dude started tussling, you know, because obviously the other dude was trying to get the GUN, and then the black dude took the GUN and pew-pewed the guy in his head, okay? And then he gonna try to act like it was self-defense. So that's the case I was thinking about when I said Walgreens, okay? So this one right here is the Walmart parking lot. Anyway, this is the video that I showed y'all last week or the week before, where the white dude clearly was blocking the parking lot this lady wanted to park in, I guess, and they got into a verbal altercation, okay? And the white dude eventually moved away from the parking spot, okay? And the black lady went on and parked in that spot, okay? Next couple of minutes, here come the white dude walking back over to her to continue with the argument, I guess. And I guess, I can't remember exactly what happened in the video, but eventually the black lady pulled out her GUN, but she warned him to get back. And this dude kept on walking up toward her, you know, screaming, whatever he was doing. You could tell he was acting like, you know, he was a little aggressive. Okay, and she was bagging up, right? Going around the car, and he was basically following her. And at one point, it appeared that he was leaving, but then he turned back around and came back. And I'm trying to figure out why did he come back? And then somewhere around that time, he started walking toward her again. She poo-pooed him, but she did warn him many times to get back. Well, anyway, they were trying to make up their mind if she would have charges filed against her. Anyway, some updated information. Florida prosecutors are considering slapping charges on the female G-Man who unalived an Army veteran during a heated spat over a parking space at Walmart. Bart D, I'm going to call him D because his name is hard to pronounce, a 62-year-old retired staff sergeant, was fatally poo-pooed by an unidentified woman in front of the Supercenter in North Lauderdale just before 12:30 p.m. on June the 30th. Anyway, she did remain on the scene, put her GUN down and all that, and waited for the police. And she claimed she had acted in self-defense. So they're looking at, it could be a possibility, okay? They are considering slapping charges on her, but it doesn't mean that they will, okay? Because they got to go by the law. And I think there in Florida, they do have the stand your ground. Is that the stand your ground state? Anyway, they said the case has been formally presented to our office by the Broward Sheriff's Office, and that's the spokesman for the Broward State Attorney's Office told the Post on Thursday of last week. They said prosecutors will thoroughly review all of the evidence to determine if any charges will be filed. Basically, the same information I said last week. They are looking at this case to see if any charges can be filed. That's why they say consider, because they don't know for sure yet. They're looking at everything, seeing if she really had a valid reason to poo-poo this dude, if it was truly an act of self-defense. Okay? And from what I saw, it looks like it is, but I'm not a lawyer or anything, so I don't know for sure. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you. I don't know. I would say she probably won't be, because listen, the man should have never came back. He walking all up on her in an aggressive manner and everything, doing the most and everything. She warned him to stay back. She had the GUN pointed at him, telling him to stay back, and this dude still walked up on her. The dude turned around to leave and then came back. So for me, all of that is very provoking, and it will scare someone, especially a woman and a man is doing this. So it's not like she didn't warn him or anything. Okay? Here, he should have went on and got in his car and left. He should have never came back over there in the first place. That's stupid. Okay, you guys were already bickering over a parking space. You had left. Okay, why didn't he come back? And then he left again and turned back around and came back. That's weird. Anyway, I think that's it for all the updates. Let me make sure. Let me look on my other phone, and then we're going to get ready to get out of here, y'all. So I can go to bed and say y'all can too, or go to work or wherever y'all got to do. Let's see. And I think that's it. It's a lot of little stories I got to tell you guys about, but I'll tell y'all about those, some of them tomorrow. Some weird ass people out here. And y'all be careful if y'all meet people online. I got a story on my phone where a lady hooked up with some man online, and he unalived her and then buried her in a shallow grave. People are quick. Okay? That's what they are. Anyway, thank you to Jermaine for being here. Wet Seal TV for being here. Let's see, someone else was here. Keelani for being here. Let's see. Everybody in the bushes and everyone who watched this in the replay. Angelo for being here. Have a good night at work, Angelo. And see, if he would have stayed here, he could have told us some medical stuff because he is a doctor in the OR, I believe. That's what he said. Good night. And again, everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay, you guys, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications. Share, leave a comment, and hype this video up. And if you want to show additional support for this channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, cash out donation at $ Shades Tube, or copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. Y'all just don't know how hard it is to do these damn lives, okay? I never knew that social media could be hard to do, especially when you stay consistent like Shades Tube, you know what I'm saying? And do everything by a schedule like a regular job. It is hard as hell to do all these videos and these pre-recorded videos, especially when you're talking about 50,000 different things. Okay, it's hard. So I commend all of the real content creators because damn, this is not easy. Okay, at all. At all. Oh no, I'm not scared of the veggies because I'm not eating my raw veggies any damn way. I'll cook them, and I'm definitely not eating no lettuce. But I don't live in fear. Okay, I just basically practice stuff. It's just like out here. They have had a lot of earthquakes. And I was just telling my kids that we just need to, keep our first aid kit and waters by the bed and have a plan in case one happens and go from there. And don't panic. The key thing is you cannot panic because once you panic, it's over. But I hope we don't ever get a major earthquake. Even when I leave from this state, I hope they never have one because I can just imagine these people, all right, and all the damage. But the key thing is not to be scared. Just find out everything about it and, be safe. Be eating all that shit and cook that stuff because, if you cook the stuff like, raw veggies and things like that at a certain temperature, it unalives that virus. I guess that's a virus or whatever. I don't know if it's bacterial or viral. I did because the thing is that when CV first came out, I went to the hospital to drop off this patient, and this older lady saw me. I didn't have on a mask, and she was like, "You need to put on a mask because you don't know who can have CV, and you're all up on a person and all that stuff. And if a person is sick, you can easily get sick from it. And since I have hypertension, it's not good. So therefore, I did on that day. I started wearing a mask, and I tell you straight up, the whole entire time I never got sick. Definitely didn't catch no CV. None of us did here in this household. And I went everywhere that I wanted to go because I was an essential worker. I was all in the damn stores. The stores that was open. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I did a lot of stuff around that time. And then catching out one thing. Okay, so the mask, it did help me. You wore it too? Yeah. Because I'm not catching that shit. Before CV, I used to wear a mask sometimes anyway, because my blood be paranoid about stuff. Just like I have always used a sanitizer. Ever since I used to teach school, I started using sanitizer, never stopped. And then I would wear a mask if I catch a cold or something. So I was doing that weird, a lot of stuff like that anyway. But I still wasn't paranoid because we did everything. The essential worker, you can go out and do stuff. And that's exactly what I did. I love driving. There was hardly anyone on the streets. I love going to the stores. Hardly no one was at Target or any place like that was open. Man, I did everything. Not gonna lie. I really did. We did everything and stuff. And my kids, I made their ass put on a mask. My son didn't want to put on one because he's a Trump supporter. He used to be, but he didn't put on a mask, okay, you guys? And I was like, okay, but you're going to wear one here because you're not grown. You know what I'm saying? You're not in your own house. You got to wear one here and stuff. You said you got scared watching crazy video from China about authorities locking people in their houses, food delivery through the window. You know what? Before CV really got into, play here, I met this dude one day, okay? And he had on a government ID. I thought he was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. He told me all about that, the CV thing. He showed me on his computer. He had a 3D or 4D image of it, and everything that they talked about on the news about that. You know what? CV. He showed me on his laptop. And that day when he did this, I thought the dude was absolutely nuts. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. He told me to wear a mask, but I didn't wear one then. He told me to wear a mask. He told me where it came from. He told me they were lying, and he said what it was going to do. And everything he said, he was telling the truth. Weird ass dude, black dude too. Weird. Okay, I was like, yeah, this dude is absolutely nuts. That's what I was saying at first. Oh yeah, I know, and I'm talking about the first one. Okay. And everything, but I definitely didn't catch it. I know other people caught it. One of my friends on YouTube, what's his name? Wayne's Slot. He used to go to the casinos, right? And play the games and win all the time. I was supposed to go with him, but he passed on from CB. His mom actually caught it first, and he caught it. He had hypertension, and he actually passed on from it. I think he passed on in 2020. Let me think. It happened in 2020. I think he passed on right there in January 2021, somewhere around that time. He passed on. He sure did. Caught it from his. I don't know if his mom gave it to him. And I'm not gonna say that, but he caught it right. And clearly, because he had hypertension, it must have really, did some damage to him. You said you got it once? Wow. Yeah, I never caught it. I did take that little shot, the vaccine, later on. And the only reason why I took it is because my son wanted to take it, okay? And I don't really force them to do stuff. I let them make their own decisions regarding certain things. And he just didn't feel safe without taking one. So I didn't want him to take that vaccine by himself if something happens. So all of us took one. All of us in this household right here, we took it and stuff. But I didn't take the second one. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I didn't take the second one because I kept on, looking up stuff, doing research, and I just said no. And I told him he couldn't take the second one. Just wear your mask. 2 if you need to, or whatever the case is, and just really just stay away from people. Don't be all up on them and stuff. And that's what we did. We did not take the second one. I didn't like it though. I took the first one. Trying to think, what did it do? I'm trying to think, did it make us feel sick? I can't even remember, but I know good and damn well when I took the flu vaccine the first time, that made me feel like I had the flu. Okay, but I always take one every year. I still take it every year. It didn't do anything this past year or anything, but I think that CV stuff, I can't remember. I think it make you feel like you have the flu a little bit. Okay, but I still went to work, so I don't think it was that rough. But some people say it was and everything. But once I started reading about all these heart ailments and things like that, I decided not to do round two. Oh yeah, I saw that video. I saw that. Yeah, all them people unalive from CV, man. A lot of people thought that was fake, but I never thought it was fake. Like I said, when that dude got in my car, I thought he was nuts. But after, I started seeing everything on the news and stuff like that, then I realized he was telling the truth and stuff. And then when that old lady told me to start wearing my mask, I knew it was for real then too. And then my oldest son and daughter caught it, and I think my other daughter caught it too. I'm not sure, but I just know my son did because he's in law enforcement. So of course, being around people and stuff like that, that's how he caught it. And then my other daughter, she at that time she was a teacher for gifted kids and stuff, and so I think she caught it. And then my other daughter caught it, but she just be doing the most, and she caught it being around people. Probably wasn't even wearing her mask or anything and stuff. But in this household right here, all of us, we wore our mask and we got the vaccine, including my husband. He got the vaccine too. He used to wear his mask. Yeah, I'm out in the burbs myself, but it just depends on a lot of Trump supporters did not wear their masks, okay? And other people were wearing theirs, but for the most part, out here where I live at, it was like I think a lot of people were scared. A lot of people stayed in the house, okay? Because like when I was out on the streets, I didn't see that many people out. And then the ones that I did, at first everybody had on a mask, and then as everything started, like people get used to it and stuff like that. You know how people start getting lax, and then they start wearing their masks. At least some people did, but I had mine on. I just took mine off, and let's see, I stopped wearing mine probably in 2023. Okay, because I was still wearing mine for a long time afterwards. And one day, I took it off and then put it back on. Now, sometimes I will put that mask on. It just depends on where I'm at. Like when I go in hospitals, I put it on. Yeah, because I have hypertension. I don't want to be catching shit from people. You know what I'm saying? Because CV can really do a wonder. It can do something on to you for real, if you have hypertension, and everything. So you got to be very careful if you have like hypertension, maybe sugar diabetes, and any other heart ailment. You definitely got to wear a mask if you go into hospitals or if you're around a lot of people or something like that and stuff. But that explosive diarrhea stuff is a hot ass mess. I definitely don't want that. Can you imagine you get that damn parasite and then all of a sudden you out in public? No, 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 no. So I won't be eating any raw veggies or lettuce or anything else like that from these restaurants and shit. You know what I'm saying? No raw food at all. To wash your hands and stuff. And you better wash those public bathrooms too, shit. Because if somebody had got that viral infection, I think it's a viral infection. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's viral or bacterial. I got to look that up. Let me look and see. It may be bacterial. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see what they say about it. So you can catch a direct person-to-person transmission. You can't, sorry. Direct person-to-person transmission is highly unlikely. You only can get it through food or water that has been contaminated with infected feces, okay? Let's see here. Is that parasite is rare in the U.S. Let's see. It's a parasite. What if I want to get you using you? Can you catch that if you sit on the toilet? Let me stop. You're not even because I don't sit on public toilets, but even if you squat over a toilet, I'm just trying to figure out if you catch. Let me look this up. I'm just looking. They claim this when you eat food, but I don't trust that. Let's see. So that's a foodborne parasite that can cause severe gastrointestinal illness. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Let me ask this question right here, y'all. Let's see. Okay, let's see what they say. So it's just a microscopic parasite. Okay, it's caused by the microscopic parasite. I don't know how you say this word. Cyclosporia cantonensis. That's the parasite. So let's see what we got to know before we get ready to get out of here. You said crazy people inside of their car with. Wait a minute, you know what be tripping me out? When CD was basically over, right? Like now, they be outside with the mask on. I'm like, why? Nobody is around them. Okay, I'm like, why do you have a mask on and you're outside basically by yourself? Or they be in their car by themselves and they have on a mask. When I was in the car, I would pull mine down, okay? And then when I get out the car, I put it back on. Oh man, it sure is. I got a couple of those right. I always had them, okay? They be tripping me out with the mask on in the car. Be looking tripped out, man. They really do. Oh man. It says 7,000 people in the U.S. may have been infected with that diarrhea causing parasite. So frequent, watery, and explosive diarrhea. I still say when you go to public restrooms, I don't give a damn what they say. When you go to those public restrooms, you got to make sure, even when you squat, women, okay, men, when y'all pee, you got to make sure nothing jumps, nothing, the water don't splash back on you. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know. You just never know. So at least they have not had anyone pass on from it. Gosh. 141 people have been admitted to the hospital, though. Because when you have diarrhea, if you don't get electrolytes in your system, you can be dehydrated. Okay, so that's probably the main reason why they are in the hospital. So Indiana, Texas, New Jersey, some other states got it too. Okay. Some people, they said the number is higher too, but some people are just recovering at home and not seeking medical treatment. Damn, food or water. Don't be drinking behind people, y'all, or eating behind people. They claim this is less common than other foodborne illnesses such as Salmonella and E. coli. Some people don't experience any symptoms with this cyclosporia. They say with frequent and sometimes explosive bowel movements. Yuck. It can last from a few days to over a month if you do not get treated. And then the symptoms can go away and it can come back. So if you get this, you better go to the doctor. It takes 1 week after you are infected to become sick. Man, they said person-to-person transmission does not happen. And that's according to Dr. Caitlin Rivers of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. So I'm just telling y'all better stay away from bag salad, misses and kids. Okay, fresh cilantro, basil, raspberries, snow peas, and green onions, and any damn raw veggies, unless you cook them very, very well. And wash your hands and sterilize the area where you put these vegetables at and stuff. And shit, stay out those restaurants eating lettuce and shit and tomatoes and all that type of stuff. And make sure they cook that damn food good. That's why I always get my stuff well done, because you just never know. But not burnt, just well done. They wear them all the time. They be tripping me out. I'll be like, why? Why do they have on a mask outside? I'll be laughing. Wouldn't that be messed up? That's what, man, I can imagine. Damn. Explosive D? Damn. They should just get some medications that they can prescribe to you without coming to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? If you have it, because, I mean, you'll know if you have it. If you know, it's explosive, that's the first thing, and then watery, and then, diarrhea. I mean, I guess, like I said, you got to make sure you drink something like Pedialyte or something like that if you have it. You know what I'm saying? That way you probably won't be admitted to the hospital and stuff. But yeah, this is a trip. I don't even know what they give these people. Told you got to wash everything, cook everything. So Taco Bell released a statement said it was removing certain ingredients at their restaurants just in case. So they say if you are experiencing diarrhea, you need to contact a health provider and ask about possible infection, okay? Instead of just staying at home, acting cray-cray and not doing anything about it. Y'all should see what this look like. This parasite looks nasty. It sure does. Now, I don't want that shit. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't want that shit. Can you imagine, though? And now I'm going to be nasty, having explosive diarrhea. And you do it so many times, that area is going to be sore. You're going to have to put, what you call this shit, A&D ointment on yourself. I bet you they do be sore and stuff in that area. Keep on going to the bathroom like that. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's a lot of times, man. All I can say is wash your damn hands. Don't eat no raw veggies, no raw fruits. If you do, you need to clean them real good and stuff and cook those damn veggies very, very well. Find out how long you're supposed to cook them at, what temperature, and you better do that. Point blank. And when you go to the toilet, I don't care what they say. I don't give a damn about this parasite. I just don't want to catch nothing else from a toilet seat. You know, things that you can catch from a public toilet seat. Yeah, I just can't sit on no toilets out in public anyway. It just kind of grosses me out and stuff. So yeah. So you just got to watch all of that and wash your hands and stuff, and don't be touching on people all of, stuff like that, because you just never know. You never know, But anyway, I enjoyed this conversation tonight, you guys. It's 3:02 out here on the West Coast. It's time for Shades to be able to go to bed so I can get a good night's sleep. I'm turning my phones off because every morning someone calls me and wake me up. Okay, super early, and it's getting on my nerves. So I'm gonna make sure I turn my ringer off and get my butt ready for bed. I had already gotten ready for bed before I did this video. So once I get off here, I can go straight to bed and stuff. But I have fun, y'all. I have fun tonight, and I enjoyed this conversation and everything. All right. Good night, Red Seal. Good night, Jermaine, and everybody else in the bushes and all that. Y'all have a blessed Thursday, and I'll see y'all in my next video. All right. This is Shay's Tune. Good night, y'all.
Yeah. Right. She know the shade soon. Rev. Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up.
I almost played my country Wayne, baby. Okay, this is the right one right here.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shay's too, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she called names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let game, back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right here, late night with Shay. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again. Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. Now you thought I left, nah, I'm back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. And you thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
Good night, y'all. Sweet dreams.